Hey there, YouTube. So we're going to get around to changing the front tire on the K16 today. So I've said in a previous video, so you can see a little better in this. Yeah, that's a nasty knot she's got sticking out right there. And I've got 3 just like it all the way around the tire. So then there's a lot of little small ones. So we've got our new tire ready to go. We're going to go throw it out in the sun. And then our old tire, to get it ready to come off the K16, it's easier if you just pull these body bolts off the fender. Just take the whole fender off. 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. We've got our, before I do this, so we've got our axle socket ready to go. It's kind of like a reverse socket, but that's what it is. So we're going to use the 22mm side with a regular ratchet. We're going to loosen that. That one is a T45. These body bolts are a T30, I think. Yep, they're T30. And we're going to leave this side tight. So we're only going to loosen the right side clamp bolt for the axle nut, leaving the other side tight until we get ready to take it off. This side actually is a nut, that piece right there. So we're going to leave it tight where we can loosen the bolt. We're going to loosen the axle nut, and then we're going to jack this up. Now let's see if we can see it under here. So there's nothing up here that we can hold the front up with until we get back here to the actual oil pan. And then there's a brace under here. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to go right up against this. It doesn't take it very much, but I've got a jack with a rubber buffer pad on it. We're going to put that under that piece, and we're going to lift it up. I'll give you guys some fair warning. Don't trust the jack to keep it up. Once you get it up in the air, it doesn't take very much. I mean, it's on a pivot. Once you get it up in the air, put one of these regular jack stands under the axle. I'm going to do it a little more. Okay. And not in a big hurry here. It will settle itself back down onto the jack. Trust me, I know it'll happen. I've seen it before. Alright. We're going to go ahead and get everything pulled off here. All the skins. You can see it really good on this angle as the bump goes around. Right there. Looks bigger in person probably, but yeah, you can see it pretty good there. It sticks out about a 1/4 inch. She's a knot. Alright. We're gonna get our skins off. Alright, they're all loosened off, so anyway, everything's snapping when I break it loose. The only reason they're fighting to come out is because I had put NECs on them last time. Definitely don't want these skins, and I'm sure, I can't say exactly how much they are, but I am sure they are absolutely expensive. So don't want to lose those on the highway. You know, 4 in my little magnetic bowl, because magneticbowl.com rocks. Put that somewhere safe. I'm going to jack this back up just a little bit so I can get both jack stands under it. Alright, we got her up now. Let's go ahead and get our axle bolt out of here. loose. It's 22mm. Make sure our nut's not spinning. It's not. Okay. Okay. It's not. It stopped moving out, so I'm going to just push it with my finger. Not putting my finger in the other side. And we do have to take the brake caliper off. Okay, pause. Pause. Alright, brake caliper is a T45. I didn't think I took it off last time, but I guess that was the back and maybe another motorcycle. But yeah, apparently you cannot get it around the hub. Let's take the caliper off. So caliper comes off. And I was doing so well. Well, I talked very confidently anyway. There's a little clamp on this back side, and I had added a zip tie that I forgot about last time I did this for the speed sensor. Speed sensor, it's totally up to you whether you want to take that off or not. If you don't want to take the risk of damaging it, then I highly suggest you take the speed sensor off. It's way down here. It's got like a T15, I think, holding it in. It's far enough away from the wheel that I'm not going to mess with it. I may regret that later, but for now, I think I'm okay. Hey, there's the thing. And take the other side off. Mistakes are embarrassing, but it is what makes us human, so at least you know I'm really human. I mean, not that anybody thought I was superhuman, but yep, definitely not perfect. And all right, that's two. Go and take a look at our brake pads. They look fine. Now we take the wheel out. Again. All right. Now we're going to try to do this ourselves here. So we're going to pull the cord, drain the tire down, and see if I can break this bead. All right, so we're going to take our tire tool. We'll get our air out. I think I may have already been losing air on this one, so not surprised. And then we're going to take our core out. Okay, put it somewhere safe. I'm not sure what safe is for me. We're going to put it back in this kit. Can't get quite enough light on it, but that is the rip from that tire from the inside. Yeah, it didn't look like much from the outside, but as you can see, hold that. Yeah, that was a very serious tear in the tire. So, yeah, we definitely had to change that tire. No plug-in for that one. Alright, so without spoiling it too much, you can look at my face and tell how sweaty I am, and it's a chore to get it. You just gotta take small bites of it. Of course, the camera messed up. Before I put air in it, I am gonna check one more time. Make sure my arrows are pointing forward. I don't know if you can see the arrow very well. And make sure the arrows are pointing in the direction that I want the wheel to go. Make sure that my speed sensor is on the right side. It is. Don't look like I messed anything up, so we're gonna go ahead and put some air in it. I did put a liberal application of this on there, and as soon as I did, it went from being hard to pull off to it went right in. Very important step, make sure you put the valve core back in the valve, or it will not hold air. Just a thought. Okay, doesn't take much. I know you saw me sweating all over it a while ago, but it actually does not take that much to get it in there. All right, lock down our wheel. Get some air in it. All right, you're gonna hear 2 pops. I did put some more bolts knot on it, so it should pop right into place. That's 1. It's coming. And do not get your finger caught. Okay, now we've got 2. So, let's check our air. And against other people's recommendations, do not overinflate it. So our red dot is still almost directly across from our valve stand. I'm gonna call that a win, because mostly I don't want to do it again. Definitely don't want to take the tire back off. Finish off putting air in her. Okay, that's close. All right, we will check her again once we get her back together. So let's get the tire back together. Let's get her back on the bike. I am going to clean and re-grease my wheel axle. It looks like at one point axle was slipping, so I am going to make sure that it does not slip again. And it looks like both of these might have slipped, so I'm going to clean them up. This is the nut side, bolt side. So much easier than using spacers and crazy stuff that some other brands use. That's why I always like to say BMW probably is the easiest brand to work on. I'll get a lot of flack for that. Don't care, because it's the truth. All right, this grease is not to actually nothing slides on this grease. I'm just using this to make sure I don't scratch it putting it in. It doesn't have to be super grade. It's just where I don't scratch the bolt putting it in, where it doesn't all of a sudden grab friction and stop spinning. I know some of you are going to say don't grease the nut side because your bolt has to grab that side. You're halfway correct. I'm going to put just enough on it to slide it in. I'm going to clean my sockets out. Both sides. There is a small sleeve inside the wheel that you have to get through and realign. All right, we're gonna go ahead and draw our wheel up a little bit, get it into our nut just enough where it'll center the wheel. We're going to wait to tighten that up until we get our brakes back on. Careful. Are we gonna put a little anti-seize on there? Nope, we're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on it. Just a little bit. So we're gonna put just a little bit of we're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on our brake bolts. And all through this, you're gonna keep telling yourself, to remind yourself, that we haven't tightened up any of the bolts yet on the inside of the shaft. Got my helper dabbing my head. I'm still over here sweating. Summer said it went away. It totally lied. So Summer's back. So I'm gonna get the other side, the brake bolts on, and we'll be back with you. Yeah. Well, that won't help us. Make sure your brake pads are spread out before you try to put it on the wheel. The other one went back on like nobody's business, and this one wants to fight me. That's just the way it goes. It's the way of things. There we go. And just jiggle it around, find the hole. Alright, so we got our cheat sheet out again. We're going to do our pinch bolts, 19 Newton meters, and our brake calipers at 28. So we'll do our brake calipers first to get them out of the way. So that'd be 28. Make sure you read the Newton meter scale, not the foot pound scale. Well, and that ain't a whole lot of torque, just in case you're wondering. All right. And then our pinch bolts for the axle, 19 Newton meters, so it's even less. So that one's tight. We're not doing that one until we get it tight. Now we look around for our axle nut. Here, hey, look, it's in the axle, because I said I was going to leave it there. So 50 Newton meters, 48.4, 49.7. That's about as close as we're going to get. We'll do that one. And hey, we're there. I may have over tightened it a little bit. Now go back to our pinch bolt here. Go back to 19. I'd say there. There's 3 clicks for Country Coder, because he said make sure I do it at least 3 times. And then we can put our body bolts back on. Don't worry if I forgot anything. By the time that you comment on this video, I probably would have already figured it out. You can still laugh at me. That always helps. Turn it towards me. And now that I have those lined up, in theory, these should be lined up. And they're not, because it's just a theory. I will eventually have to get a torque wrench with smaller increments on it, because where I can be more precise, you know, because that's important. All right, I think that covers it. So we'll do another torque check tomorrow before I drive it. It's gotten obviously dark outside, and I'm not going to test drive a bike in the dark because that would be dumb. All right, well, I hope I helped you out with something, or at least made you laugh, because, you know, I'm not perfect. So like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell, and tell all your friends about well, whatever we did here today. All right, guys, see you next time.